got a chance to jump on lives during summer vacation because I'm not sure how often I'll be able to do this. But I'm taking advantage of it because the kids are with Grandma and Grandpa for an overnight sleepover down at their cottage on Cubical Lake. So that means I'm actually home alone and I can focus on work today without so many distractions. But today I want to tell you about Kiwi Co Boxes. Now, I believe I've mentioned these before on Facebook Live, but it was probably right after Christmas because I was first introduced to these boxes when my sister-in-law got 4 of them for my kids at Christmas time. And I didn't even know what they were. She's like, well, let me know how they turn out. And she, like, when she gave them, she kind of thought like, oh, you must know about these. And then when I looked at them, like, I don't know anything about them. And then when I opened one up, it was filled with a very specific activity. When they had, I remember my youngest daughter got green boxes and my older daughter got blue boxes. And they were 4 different age levels. And they had very specific instructions in them and activities. And I remember putting together a couple of them right after Christmas. So the box that I just got another one. I got an updated rainbow optics activity. It just shows up in the mail like this. So whenever you order it, you just look for your colored box, and that's what you'll be looking for from the mail. And when you open it, now let me go over this. I don't honestly remember all the names of their lines. Their lines are like different age groups and categories, and some are science-based, some are art-based. Basically, there's just like different activities. It's probably, I did this maybe like in an hour, so maybe like an hour's worth of activities for your kids. And you can select which age group you want. You can buy just one box if you want, which I love about this because you don't have to commit to a long-term subscription like other subscription box services. Or you could buy just 3 months or 6 months or 12 months, and the price does go down with a 6 or 12-month subscription. So they're $20 a box. They go down a little bit if you buy a 6 or 12-month subscription. So if you're wondering, like, why do I want these boxes? What would I do with them? Do I want to spend the money on these? What are these good for? Well, right now with me and it being summer vacation and the kids are out of school, and yes, we have a pool, but you can only swim in the pool so much before something gets cold or you get bored. And yes, we visited parks, but I was just kind of looking to mix it up and find some other stuff to do with my kids this summer. And so we pulled this box out earlier this week. And I've been waiting for summer vacation to pull it out till it was like a good day where I know, okay, guys, you're bored. Let's do this together. So I open up the box, and this one is on Rainbow Optics. And you know what? I actually had the Rainbow Optics version at Christmas time too, but I was excited because when I opened this one, I'm like, oh, we already have this one. But I opened it, and there was new activities in it. There was one of the same activities, but then other things were different. So I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I wonder how often they like switch out the activities so that if you've done one in the past, like I don't know how many different boxes they have. Do they just have 12 boxes and they just re-rotate them throughout the year? Or do they have 12 boxes and then they change out the activities per box? I don't know how it's set up. I'd have to investigate that more, but I thought it was cool that when I saw it was the Rainbow Optics box, I'm like, oh, there's actually some new stuff in here I can do with my kids this time, and that's great. So right when you open the box, you get this awesome little booklet. This is your step-by-step tutorial. It tells you everything that comes in the box. This front page, I think, just tells you everything that should be in the box. And then they tell you right away the different activities. There's 3 main activities in this box. And they tell you how much parent involvement you probably need to have. So this is for ages 5 to 8, I believe. 5 plus, it says. But I'm pretty sure online the Kiwi line is ages 5 to 8. So I have a 6-year-old. I also have a 10-year-old who wants to be bossy. No, I won't say bossy. She has good leadership skills. She wanted to be involved as well with the 5 to 8-year-old activity box. But we have an activity here for mixing colored light, and it says there's a medium grown-up involvement, and there's a projecting colorful shadows that has medium involvement, and then low involvement for the rainbow glasses. So if you're also wanting a break over summer as a parent, and you're like, I just want to send my kids off with the box, that's probably not the best idea if you're going with a younger, I guess it goes without saying. If you have like 8 and younger, you're probably going to need some sort of parental guidance. If you go with a box that's 8 years and up, you'll probably need less parental guidance. And maybe they could just call to you and be like, Ma, I don't get this. Can you tell me how to put this together? So then there's 3 activities. The mixing colored light. Now I'm not going to go through step by step how we made this, but I'm just going to show you that when it came, like the cardboard box came, and then they had to like just stick on this piece of wood. Like this piece of wood here had a sticker on the back, and you plop it on. And then this little, oh, my kid's hair is in it. But this, they call it the frosted container. This is, you just use it just to show the light, but it's interesting. So I think you can unscrew this and use this for something else later if you want. But anyway, so you get the frosted container, and then you get a bunch of stickers that you need to decorate this with. So I had my kids take turns. You know, you can put on 3 stickers, you can put on 3 stickers. And you know how they like to fight? Like, well, she put on 4 stickers. Yeah, that happened while we were doing this. So anyway, they decorated that part. And then the cool part is the inside. Now, because I'm on live video, and this isn't the best for light, but you can kind of see if I turn it at a certain angle, there are LED lights inside. There's a green one, a red one, and a blue one, and they are currently on. They come, when they show up in the package, you have to pull the tab out for them to even work. And then that was another one. She pulled out more tabs than I did. I know no one here has ever had siblings argue about things like this. I'm just trying to make it real of what it was really like when we were going through this activity. So anyway, then, you know, it gives you instructions about how to put the whole thing together. And I'm looking at the instruction book. And at the very end, they have the experiment, and they read and tell you what's going on. So let me just show you this. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. Yes. It's more dramatic in real life. I guess you can kind of tell that as you spin this, the colors change. So you got more of a yellow, then green, blue, then like blue, purplish, back to greenish, pink, or pinkish, greenish, yellowish, green, blue, purple, red, orange. So it kind of goes through the whole rainbow as you spin it, which is actually pretty cool. And my daughter was bummed because even though they're on a sleepover or grandma, she's like, can I bring that as my night light for tonight? I was like, sorry, I'm actually doing a video and taking it from you. Oops. But they actually explain what's going on too, because in the bottom of this container, there is like a secret opening where it's letting light in, the only place it's going to let the light in from the LED lights. So as you spin it, it's only going to let in like 2 colors at a time. And so when those 2 colors mix, that's why you're seeing the variety of the rainbow colors. So it's a really cool way because primary colors are different if you're talking about light versus paint. Like paint, the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. But if you're talking about light, then we're talking about green, red, and blue. And this actually shows you why those would be the primary colors. And it's not like we can hand our kids paints and easily show them how the colors mix when you're dealing with light. But this is a great application to explain to them that this is different than paint when you're mixing colors. And you can also explain to them, like, computer screens and TV screens are all filled with tiny pixels that have each of these 3 color lights. And that's how we get all of the colors that we see on the screen. And I thought this was an awesome example to explain that. Now, if you've watched me or read any of my blog posts, you know that I was a former science teacher. So for me, this is like an excellent way to explain light. I could even go deeper with my kids if I wanted to and explain about why you see different colors and the wavelength sizes and why are plants green, because these are all the things I used to teach about. when I was teaching biology or even just middle school general science. And so these were like stepping blocks, and I was totally in like teacher mode and not mom mode while we were doing this, and it was a lot of fun. So that was the first activity. The second one, this one's going to be kind of challenging for me to show you like the whole thing while I'm just on my computer camera. But you have another set of LED lights, because again, this is all about mixing light to create rainbows. I'm going to turn on my 3 LEDs here. You get the same colors and the same little lights, but you're mixing the blue, the red, the green. But with this one, you kind of change the just a little bit. And then what you do is you have a like a transparency, like if you have transparency plastic, any sort of plastic, and you can actually Velcro this on and off, and there's a dry erase marker in the kit, so the kids can just draw a little picture. So this was another thing where my kids had to share, like, I'll draw the line down the middle, you get this side, and you get this side. So we've got a little house and a kid, and then a little, like, seaweed and fish. And once you put this on your box, and again, you can totally erase this. Like, I'll erase just part of it. I'll erase the line down the middle, and then my kids won't know, or won't get mad at me if I erase their drawing. But so the line down the middle is gone, so you can change your picture, and you can do this numerous times, and then you can Velcro it back on. And then when you hold the 3 lights up to this, and then you're looking at the picture, like there's a certain distance. There's a longer sheet of paper that you get that comes with this. So you line it up exactly, and you reflect this together, and then you can see the different colored shadows in the box. Now, it's not easy for me to show you this on camera, and if you actually get this kit, I don't want to completely ruin it for you, so I'm not going to exactly show you how to do it. But with the lights being at a certain angle, they mix differently, and so you end up seeing shadows that aren't black. You end up seeing shadows, some are red and some are green, and then some are purple, where the red and the blue are mixed together. And it's another way to show how colored light mixes and how you get a variety of colors based on the 3 primary colors of light, of which are blue, green, and red. And so this is just really fun to play with. And then the last part was the kids walking around with their fancy rainbow glasses. I know these are so stylish. And this is just fun. I mean, especially for my youngest. She's like, oh, wow, look at all the colors. And I'm actually doing that myself right now while I'm on camera, because if I look, I've got like 2 little windows top of my door, and there's like bright rainbows popping out of them right now. And the window in front of me, and there's bright rainbows popping out of my window. And it's actually really cool when I'm looking at the LED lights, and it looks like there's multiple copies of the different LED lights. And so this is just fun if you have young kids and you want to watch them go, oh, that's so cool. Then they will do that, and then maybe they'll wear them for the rest of the day. And also, depending on your child, if my kids continue to play with these are just paper cardboard. As they're a little bit older now, these might last a little bit longer. If I did this, say, 2-3 years ago, these would have been ripped and crushed already. But hopefully, these won't get ripped and crushed before mommy decides that they've been garbage in your room for 6 months. You haven't played with them on. I wouldn't do that. The last thing that was in the box was a bonus magazine with bonus rainbow optic suggestions of what you can do. There's a little cartoon in here. There is an I Spy rainbow activity if you had a prism, and showing how how a prism can separate light based on its wavelength into all different colors, and you can create a rainbow with a prism. So it explains that. It tells you where you can find rainbows in nature, like spilled oil, or right now, a lot of people I know are outside blowing bubbles with their kids, and you can sometimes see the little rainbow bubble reflection on them, and you can explain to your kids about the light with the bubbles. And even if you're spraying a hose or a sprinkler, how you can easily see rainbows. And even if you just saw a real rainbow, like during a rainstorm and the sun's on it perfectly, the dark clouds, and you actually see a real rainbow. I mean, by doing this activity, the kids will actually understand, why is there a rainbow in the sky right now? It's not like a super special magical thing. There's an explanation behind it. I still love rainbows, and I still think they're symbolic of wonderful things. And I always was because rainbows and the Bible and the Old Testament, when Noah's Ark, when they saw the rainbow, they were reminded that God's promises are always true and are still there. And so whenever I see a rainbow, I'm like, okay, God, that's just your sign that everything you say is still true and I have to hang on to your promises. So I personally do like rainbows for that symbolism. Oh, and then there's activities in here that I was just saying before about colored light, or using colored paint versus colored light, and how you would get different results based on your colors that you have. There's a connect the dots in here. They have a recipe for rainbow kebabs if you wanted to stick with the whole rainbow thing. That's like the super overachiever mom. Like if you sat down and really planned this out, and then after you're done with the activity, if you had your fruit skewers with grapes, blueberries, green grapes, pineapple, cantaloupe, and a strawberry, and you had that all set out for your kids, then you get the award from me for being the perfect overachieving mother of teaching this lesson perfectly from start to finish. But anyway, so overall, that's what this came in this box. All the boxes are different. Now, why would you get this? Couple reasons. I say that if you had a birthday party coming up and you had a choice between Legos and this, I'd probably pick this, only because Legos, like, you, at least at our house, the kids put together all the Lego sets and then they don't necessarily play with them over and over again. They might pull apart parts and create little worlds differently, but oftentimes the fun is just putting it together. Now I will say that in this activity, the fun really is putting it together. But it's the addition of the science element and the education part of it. And of course, being a former teacher, I would rather have my kids be putting together these sorts of sets than just plastic Legos that aren't teaching them anything. Now, if they're having imaginary play with Legos, that's great. That's fine, that's fun. But if you want an activity for your kids that has a little bit more meaning to it, then this would be a great idea. The other thing I liked about these, I think I mentioned before, they're $20. You can just try one box before getting a full subscription. They're great for a birthday party present. They're absolutely fabulous if you have grandparents or if you have a child with a summer birthday. I actually have two with summer birthdays. You could tell either people that are coming to a birthday party, or you could tell grandparents, hey, just sign my kid up for 3 Kiwi Co Boxes. And then you've got activities lined up for the summer. So if you are a mom who's desperate for one other idea of how to keep your kids busy, that's a little more educational than watching TV. Well, some TV is educational, but you just want a screen-free activity that gets your kids involved, hands-on, learning, everything that comes in the kits. Like, it's super easy to follow. The instructions are easy to follow. And I didn't think, like, because there was a puppet making one that my oldest daughter got back at Christmas. And the puppets, I think, broke soon after we made them. So they didn't last super long as like a long-term toy. And this, my daughter's excited just to have by her nightstand, and she just wants to keep it as a nightlight, which I think is great, because then this could be something that she created that she really can use long-term. The shadow box thing, I don't know how often my kids will come back and like draw new pictures and look at the shadows, because I think once you look at it once, kind of like, oh, that's really cool. And then you may not necessarily go back and pick it up again later. So I'm not so sure if this will be a repeat activity later on or not, but I will keep this in my kids' bedroom for a little while. If they don't touch it for 6 months, out. Find another family that can use it, or a homeschooling family that's looking for a science lesson, and I just pass it along to them, which is very highly likely is what will happen to this in about 6 months. But overall, I think the company is great. I think they often have promo codes and deals. I do have up above that if you sign up for their emails right now, you can get 30% off your first box. They do have regular deals throughout the year. I know I've posted them a couple of times on my Facebook page, and I will continue to post them as they come about. And give it a try. If you have tried this service, I would love if you left me a comment and told me what you think of them. If you haven't tried them, or if you have any questions about it, please leave a comment and let me know, and I'll respond the best that I can. But if you are hunting or searching for an educational way to entertain your kids this summer, where you don't have to be totally 100% hands-on, you can be, but you don't have to, then I would definitely try one of these boxes. And I think I'm done. So I hope everyone's enjoying the weather. I hope everyone's having a fantastic summer. I know that I need to go jump in my pool really quick before I go on with the rest of my day. And I hope everyone is doing well. I'll talk to you later. Bye.